Will had lived in the neighborhood for a few years, a quiet cul-de-sac lined with modest homes, trimmed hedges, and the occasional block party. It was a good place to settle down, he thought. A good place to find peace. But peace is a fragile thing, and for Will, its name was Karen. She lived just down the road, in the beige house with the overwatered lawn. From the outside, nothing about her seemed particularly different. But beneath the friendly wave and strained smile was a woman who had decided that Will's profession as a doctor meant he was hers, her personal on-call physician, no appointment necessary. Will had never offered his services. Not once. But that didn't seem to matter. To Karen, his proximity was license enough. It started innocently enough, as these things often do. A knock on the door. A small cut on her son's hand. Nothing serious, she had said, but I thought, since you're right here, Will, generous by nature, obliged. He wrapped the wound and gave a warm smile. Anytime, he had said. He didn't know then the door he'd just opened. What followed was a steady stream of requests that teetered on the absurd. A rash on her daughter's arm. A headache that felt different. She once asked for a prescription for antibiotics because she felt a cold coming on. Will tried to be polite. Tried to explain. But Karen didn't hear explanations, she heard refusals. And in a world, refusal was betrayal. He eventually drew a line, as kindly as he could, emergencies only. But Karen didn't believe in boundaries, at least, not ones that applied to her. 3 nights ago, it all reached a breaking point. It was a rainy evening, the kind that made everything feel a little heavier. Will had just poured a glass of wine and set his dinner on the table, a rare moment of calm after a brutal week of hospital shifts. But the knock came, urgent and loud, shattering the moment. He opened the door to find Karen, soaked from the rain, her eyes wide with panic. Her 2 children were with her, both coughing, one of them visibly struggling to breathe. They are sick, Will. Tim is wheezing. I think he's having an asthma attack, she said, her voice trembling. His heart dropped at the mention of asthma, but his training kicked in. Have you given him his inhaler? He asked quickly. I don't know where it is. I need you to help. He looked at the boy. Pale. Breathing fast. This could be serious. But treating an asthma attack on a front porch in the rain with no tools, no medicine, and no chart. It was reckless. Karen, they need to go to the ER. Right now. You are the ER, she snapped. Why should I drag them to a crowded hospital when a doctor lives 5 doors down? Will stepped back, shielding the warmth of his home with the door. Because I can't give them what they need here. I'm sorry. You're not sorry, she spat. You're selfish. You took an oath. What happened to do no harm? I am doing no harm, he said, holding back frustration. I'm telling you to take them somewhere safe, where they can get real help. The accusation in her eyes cut deeper than it should have. You're a coward, she whispered. You just don't want to be bothered. Will could feel the heat rising in his chest. But he wouldn't shout. He wouldn't lose control. Karen, leave. Now. She didn't move. Instead, she stepped closer, yelling now, wild and unhinged. I'll report you. I'll tell everyone what kind of doctor you really are. Will shut the door, not because he was angry, but because he felt something worse. Helplessness. Not as a man, but as a healer. This woman had twisted his purpose into a weapon against him. He retreated into his bedroom, put on his headphones, and let the music drown out her voice. Her cries faded. The rain fell. And for the first time in years, he felt done. The next morning, whispers traveled faster than the wind. Karen had gone to the ER, and the children were fine, nothing serious. But the damage was done. Neighbors began to pull away. A few avoided eye contact. Someone he'd once helped cross the street now looked at him like a stranger. Karen had poisoned the well. Will sat on his porch that evening, watching the street lights flicker on. He thought about all the people he had helped over the years and how one person, one entitled, delusional person, had made him question everything. He wasn't heartless. He was human. And even humans who heal need healing, too. That night, for the first time, he let himself cry not out of sadness, but out of grief for the part of himself that had believed that kindness would always be enough.